It's a good one.
Today we have even more movies to talk about coming out of South by Southwest, an update on A Quiet Place 3, and of course, a Scream 7 casting update. Now let's get into it. Hey everybody, I'm KillJoy Jake, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Let's kick off today's update video with some news on A Quiet Place 3. Franchise producer Brad Fuller gave us an update recently saying that A Quiet Place Day 1 is not the third entry, and that they're currently putting together the actual third film in the series. I think that was pretty obvious from the prequel's plot that pretty much set up Joseph Quinn's Eric character to be some sort of main player in the next movie in the franchise. This will of course continue the island plot from A Quiet Place Part 2. You don't have to be a genius to suspect that Joseph Quinn's Eric character is already there with his little cat Frodo. That cat better still be alive, damn it. I am still holding out hope though that Jaimin Hansu's character Henry is still alive, even though he did get dragged off screen by one of those monsters in the second movie. We might not know about that until we get our first casting updates, however. While the sequel failed to hit those same emotional beats as the original flick, Day 1 on the other hand really restored my faith in this series, with some excellent new characters, an emotionally hitting plotline, and a story that is simply about getting pizza. New York pizza while we're at it, too. Ho, that's some good stuff. If they finish out the main story the same way that they did the prequel, we could have the best Quiet Place movie ever on our hands here, and it's still on the horizon, baby. I loved that last movie, man. If you want more Paul W.S. Anderson zombie movies loosely based on a video game IP, oh boy have I got an announcement for you. Anderson is writing and directing a new movie adaptation of The House of the Dead, which he recently teased in a new interview with Variety. The director, who's returning to the horror genre with this project, says of the new film, it's going to be immersive and very, very scary. It'll all play out in real time, so it reflects the experience of playing the video game. The only time it stops is when you beat the game or you die. The script is almost done. We're aiming to shoot in fourth quarter of this year. Anderson also notes that he wants this project specifically to be something different from his catalog. He's adapted many video games to the screen, and they all kind of have this cheesy B-movie feel to them that's personally a guilty pleasure of mine. They're easy watch popcorn movies, man, and they are just so comfy to me. They feel so thousands. I'm so nostalgic for that time period, but admittedly, there is a lack of substance when it comes to most of those. A lack of any Resident Evil material in most of them, too. They're kind of just their own thing. Anderson promises something different with this House of the Dead adaptation, however. Something that's more terrifying, has more thrills, and will definitely star Mila Jovovich, because come on now. In an effort to separate itself from the disastrous 2003 adaptation, this new flick is specifically adapting the third House of the Dead game. Fun fact, this is a video game that does not in fact feature a house with dead inside of it. Being my favorite rail shooter in the series, House of the Dead 3 is set 20 years after the events of the first game. Lisa Rogan and Agent G search for Lisa's father only to uncover a new zombie infestation at the EFI research facility. Guys, I probably have over 2,000 hours into the Wii version of this game. I'm embarrassed of how many times I've played it. I still have not gotten a perfect score. It has gotta be the most fun brain-dead light gun shooter I have ever played, and I love it with my entire soul. It also features one of the hardest bars I've ever heard in a video game. Roll that clip, please.
Daniel, have I stepped outside the bounds of human morality?
I need this movie in my eyeballs as soon as humanly possible. Get on it, Paul! And please cast Mila as Lisa. That would be so funny, dude. More movies have premiered at South by Southwest, and oh my god, this list is even better than yesterday's video. Let's get into it. First up is Drop from Christopher Landon, coming in at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. The film is about Violet, a widowed mother who goes to an upscale restaurant to meet Harry, her charming and handsome date. However, her pleasant evening soon turns into a living nightmare when she receives phone messages from a mysterious hooded figure who threatens to kill her young son and sister unless she kills Henry. Look, it's an airdrop killer horror movie. When I first saw the trailer for this one, I felt like it was gonna be really gimmicky, but apparently, folks attending the screening for this one at South by Southwest are calling it one of the best movies that is premiered there. Receiving an outstanding and loud reception at the film festival, Drop is being praised by critics who got to see this one early ahead of its April 11th release date. Christopher Landon is having a stellar year. Between the intense early reaction to Drop and Hard Eyes being this surprise box office success, like kind of out of nowhere in its second weekend, dude is bouncing back hard from that Scream 7 dropping outing of, no pun intended. This movie has completely flipped for me. I'm actually excited to see it. Next up is The Surfer with Nick Cage. This is a sun-bleached new psychological horror film starring the man, the myth, the legend himself. The Nick Cage renaissance rages on, as this one has also gotten some pretty positive responses. Cage talked a bit about this one before it premiered at South by Southwest, saying it was just unlike any script I've been reading recently. I thought it was very brave. I like movies that aren't afraid to get a little surreal, and this one sure did. Andrew Salazar of Discussing Film said of the flick, "The Surfer first feels like another revenge film for Nicolas Cage, seeing him get absolutely dragged through the mud by truly evil people. But it soon evolves into a poignant story about male fragility and toxic masculinity. Another visually stunning gem in Cage's filmography." It sounds like beach set Mandy to me, and that has me unbelievably hyped. Despite all my rage, I am still just a Nicolas Cage. Last but not least is Clown in a Cornfield, a movie that I have been hearing about ever since it was just a book. The movie, however, follows Quinn and her father Glenn Maybrook as they move to a new town called Kettle Springs. Here, there's a generational schism that has the old folks furious at its small Midwest town's youth. On top of some town drama, there's also a killer clown running around named Friendo. All of this may be connected, and of course, everyone's friends with Friendo. One of my favorite critics out there, Megan Navarro of Bloody Disgusting, gave the film 3 skulls out of 5, praising its super over-the-top gory kills, but kind of criticizing the fact that some of the characters are a little underdeveloped. I can already kind of see this, considering the trailer feels like an unpolished version of 2023's Thanksgiving, but even with some of those early criticisms, I am still down to check out another brutal clown flick. You guys know how much I love my boy Art. We'll see if Art the Clown has met his match with Friendo on May 9th, however, when this one drops in theaters. 2 new cast members have been announced for Scream 7 that is wrapping filming this week outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Let's talk about that. These 2 possible victims, maybe even possible ghost faces, are of course Michelle Randolph and Jimmy Tatro. One of Michelle's biggest credits is Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone spinoff 1923, which also features Isabel May, Sidney Prescott's daughter in Scream 7. Randolph and May also look very similar to each other, and I also want to note that Randolph is 27 while Isabel May is 24. Could these 2 characters be siblings, perhaps? Maybe the Prescott family is getting even bigger. And yes, I said the Prescotts, not the Evans. Sydney wears the pants in that relationship. There is no other final girl in history who gives me more top energy than Sidney Prescott. She killed her boyfriend, who turned out to be evil, not just a couple of hours after losing her virginity to the guy. You can try to argue with that, but I'm right. We also have Jimmy Tatro, who is best known for his bit parts in some 2010s comedy movies and his YouTube channel, Life According to Jimmy. He's got like a 21 Jump Street frat boy style of humor, according to some of the videos I watched on his YouTube channel this morning, and I can totally see him playing like a goofy cop character, similar to something like Anthony Anderson's part in Scream 4. That definitely means he's marked for death, though. Like, he is definitely dying in this movie. I'm banking on it. Even though filming is wrapping up for the production this week, I still feel like we may have some announcements coming up here soon. There's a certain legacy character we've been talking about on this page for a while now that would work with a lot of the flashback theories we've been talking about, and this character still has not been announced to be a part of the cast. What's up with that? I'm betting on another big Scream 7 update this week. We'll just have to see. Hey everybody, before we wrap up today's video, please consider subscribing to this page for more horror movie update videos and reviews. I'd greatly appreciate it, as my goal is to hit 40,000 subs this year. Also, check out my gaming channel GullGotha. I just posted a new video over there today all about the Cenobite in DBD, who is sadly leaving the game soon. Thank you to everyone who supports both of my channels. Which update from today's video has you the most excited? Leave me something about it down in the comments below. Thank you all again for watching, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.